Good evening, all, and a very warm welcome to the 99th session of CENTA's webinar series for teachers. I hope all of you are doing well, staying safe, and staying strong. Uh, Today's session, as you all know, it's going to focus on what effective classroom management should look like. And the facilitator for today's session is Dr. Mukti Pande, who is a My CENTA community member, like all of you watching the session live. And I'll take a minute to introduce Mukti ma'am. Mukti ma'am is a senior educator with over 25 years of experience. In her current role, she is working as the senior wing coordinator at Delhi Public School, Varanasi, and she's involved with a bunch of things like curriculum planning, classroom observation, teacher development programs, organizing guest lectures, stream allotment for students, career counseling for students, and a bunch of other academic activities. She's also published a reference book for PhD scholars, by the way, to go with 7 of her papers that have been published in different international journals. Mukti ma'am has also been a panelist for discussions on various topics on EduMate TV, and she's conducted various online in-house sessions for her teachers as well. Fantastic to have you with us today, Mukti ma'am. Thank you so much for coming forward and agreeing to do this and doing this session for us. Before we start, a couple of quick announcements for the benefit of those who are joining us for the first time. Those of your regular attendees already know the drill, but here it is again. Once again for your there's a couple of things that you should keep in mind. One is the feedback form. The links to the feedback form will be shared in the live chat section by around 5:45. So please fill the feedback form in case you're looking to get your record of participation. But also, I would say please fill in the form because it'll help us understand how the session went and what are the areas we should be improving on. So that is super critical. The second thing is a lot of times you may feel that what's being shown on the screen is not fully visible, or it's some of it is it's a bit blurred for you. So there are a couple of things that you could do. One is you could go full screen. That should help. The other thing you could do is go to the settings section of your video and increase the video quality. If it's increase it to 720p or 1440p, and that should make the things clearer for you. So those are a couple of things that I would request all of you to keep in mind: the feedback form and the video quality. And please have your questions ready. We'll try and answer as many questions as possible in the last 5 or 10 minutes of the session. Thank you so much. Mukti ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, Karthik sir. Good evening, all, and I hope you all are keeping safe and sound. I'm really very happy to interact with you all through this virtual platform. I'm thankful to Santa because this is a very big platform where we can interact virtually and share our ideas. Uh, I will be able to, I hope that I will be able to live up to your expectations. And after the sessions, there will be some meaningful takeaways from this session. So, without delaying, let me start with the presentation. And I would love to have various questions in the chat box, because let this webinar be an interactive one instead of being just a dialogue. So, hello and good evening, friends. And it is giving me an immense pleasure that I am with you all. I'm here to just share my insights. I know everybody knows about it, but these are my insight on effective classroom management strategies. I hope I will be able to make this session meaningful and worthwhile, and you will definitely be liking it at the end of the session. The bell of mindfulness is a call to reflect back to ourselves. Each sound of the bell stops our thinking and talking and gets us in touch with ourselves, breathing and smiling. So let us get back to ourselves with each bell and take a deep breath. Thank you, everyone. I'm sure that after this exercise, we all are feeling a little more relaxed. Before we move ahead, talking about the various strategies of classroom management, let us understand why classroom management is important. I would request the audience to kindly type in the chat box that according to you, why is classroom management important? I'll take few minutes to see your answers. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Kartik sir, I hope I'm audible to the audience.
Yes, you are. You are, ma'am. You are.
Yeah. So can I request the audience that, in their opinion, why is classroom management important? Oh, I think that the audience feels that classroom management is important, but probably they don't want to share. Okay. Without delaying,
The inputs of
I just
the
want.
actually we already have received a lot of inputs
Okay.
from from the viewers in the live chat section, ma'am.
Okay, okay, okay. Then what will I do? I'll just go ahead with my presentation. All right. So, the first step in managing a classroom effectively is to understand the goal of effective classroom management. And the most important goals are: you need to establish a conducive learning environment. Very important. To minimize the student misbehavior, to maximize the appropriate conduct. Build connection. When I say build connection, this is the need of an hour. A connection is very, very important between an educator and the learner. Maintain consistency and create compassion. A compassion is really the need of an hour, especially during this pandemic. When we all are going through tough times, we need to be very compassionate towards our students. Hence, I would say that the essence of each goal is to create a suitable learner centric environment. And once these goals are all clear, what we need to do is we need to decide upon the most important step, and that is building a rapport with the students in the class. So when I say to build a rapport in the class, it is very, very important. How do we start a conversation? I'm sure that when I am conversing with you all, I make sure that you also open up and I also open up. So it is very, very important how you begin your conversation in a class. So I again have an activity and I would love to really have something this time. How would you begin your conversation in a class? Can I request you all to share your views or ideas on starting a conversation in a class? If you can write in the chat box, it will would be so nice. Okay. Okay. I have. I just wanted to say that yes, greeting the children, excellent, excellent. I think what I feel is that you give a warm activity in the class. All right. Oh, that's a good one. That would have yes, yes. By asking children that how are you all children, uh, with the introduction by opening an informal talk. Excellent, excellent. talking about some incident, or maybe we smile, we give a smile, and that can also start, you can start a conversation in the class, of course, by asking them that how are they feeling today. And that's really very good, because the basic idea between starting a conversation and with start in the class is that we just wanted to know how the child is today feeling in the class, when he's in the school, when he's in the online mode, how is he feeling. All right. So I have got n number of this. Okay, somebody says a story, telling something about story. Okay, ice breaking activity. Excellent, Shipra ma'am. Great. So these are the few. Thank you so much for sharing so many ideas. Thank you so much. And I think that these ideas which has really come into it, I am definitely going to take few of the ideas in my classroom to start my conversation in the class. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for such a wonderful responses. I'm very sure we all will be taking these ideas, because this platform is meant for mutual exchange of the ideas and then taking these into our classrooms. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So here are some of the icebreakers or conversation starters, which are the brilliant way of building a connect with the student. These activities make the children feel that yes, we are comfortable, they are at ease, and they get enthused to start the day. Uh, as Rob Plevin also says, to prevent misbehavior, you have to keep the child engaged. Hence, such starters are not just keeping the children engaged, but they're also making them think critically. So, we are doing simultaneously two things. First thing is that we are making them comfortable, and the second thing is that we are asking the children to think critically also. So, to start the day with what if question is an excellent way to do this. Some of the what ifs I've written on my presentation is: what if the sun did not rise one day? What if you become invisible for a day? What if you see a thief entering into a neighbor's house? What if you were a teacher? I am sure, as soon as you are going to give these questions to the children, they will start their imagination power will start, and they will start thinking so many answers, and you will come with such beautiful thoughts from the children. So hence these questions keep actually the children engaged and enable them to think to beyond the textbook, and also developing the imagination power of the child. So once the child is at ease in the class, that means I've made my child comfortable. It is very, very important, and believe me, it starts right from the primary to the senior levels. That the connect between an educator and the learner is very, very important. Connect can be established not only when you know your students, when you know your student. How will you be knowing your students? So you can conduct certain kind of an activities like all about me, guess what, circle time, asking children to fill student interest inventory form, right? These few things if you keep on doing, children will be sharing their thoughts, their interests, and this will help to build a sound relationship, and it will act as a bridge between the educator and the learner. And believe me, I feel personally, I'm sure most of the educators who are watching me virtually will agree to me, that connection between a teacher and student is very, very important nowadays. So in this way, what is happening, the educator and the learner, they get to know the likes and the dislikes, all right, hobbies, traits, skills, strengths, and weaknesses of each other. So in fact, we educator and the learner, they both are standing on the same platform. And once you are on the same platform, that fear has vanished. So if you want your effective classroom, you need to build relationship with the children. That's very, very important. Now once you have already made the children comfortable, you have already built the relationship, now it is a time to provide them with routines and procedure. Now routines and procedures are something which children will make, and they will do it as which they will be doing it as a part of their routine, and they will never forget that these routines are a kind of a rules for them. Let us take an example. A child is who is taught to brush his teeth in the morning, he doesn't have to be reminded for the same every day, right? He acquires this habit naturally, and it then becomes a routine. The same should be with the classroom routines. To have a student follow routines, the educators must first make their expectation very clear to the learners, right? So such a certain effective classroom management comes from having very clear expectation. We all need clear instruction as educators. Yes, we need a clear instructions from our the principal, from management. So similarly, the children also needs a clear expectation from an educator or a teacher. So let your student know what you expect out of him. For example, there are certain things that I've written on my slide. Use hand signals, non-verbal communication, set up a routine for lining up, provide bell ringers, let students establish guidelines, procedures for using classroom supplies, switching off fans and lights, work in groups independently, test behavior. What is the crux? The crux is that let it all come naturally as a routine and not as a rule, because as soon as it becomes a rule, it becomes a burden for the child. So we must remember one thing, that rules can never do what routines can. So make our children comfortable in such a manner. Teach them that your rules become routines for them, and they do not find it as a burden for them. After the learners are aware of your expectations from them, now you need to find most of the task is done, honestly speaking, because I children know that what ma'am expects, so that task is already done. Next comes your seating arrangement of the classroom. We are talking about management as classroom management strategies. So the seating part is the very very important part. One of the days when we had a very conventional type of a seating arrangement, and I'm sure that most of the school and most of the educators have come forward and they have changed the seating arrangement so that the impact of the learning process is increases. So there are certain arrangements that I have shown in my slide. Row arrangement, this will provide an ample space for the teacher to walk among the students. And what happens is that the teacher is catering to the student one at a time, so the child is also feeling very valued. Yes, I am being catered by the teacher. Circle arrangement, it facilitates the flow of ideas, thoughts, and expressions, right? So there is an exchange, that one child exchanges his idea with another. Semicircular arrangement, this is very effective arrangement for audio visual, as it ensures a clear visibility and eye contact. Rotation system, this is a very very important arrangement, and it should be there in every classroom. Why? Because this ensures that the students are not being categorized as front or back benchers. It happens generally, we start saying that child, you have a habit of sitting right at the back. So we you actually say that you are a backbencher. So ensure that there is a complete rotation of these children, so that no child ever feels that he is the backbencher. Everybody gets a chance in rotation. Connect is at closer proximity, eye contact is maintained, and a meaningful learning is definitely ensured, because the teacher is in fact catering to every child, and no child feels that yes, I am not being catered or valued by the teacher. Once the classroom is arranged properly, it is important to make the student feel accountable for his action. See, happens, everything is going to go very well if the child is accountable for his or her actions. So we have to ensure that now we are making accountable for accountable to the student for his action. So student accountability is an integral part of this classroom management act, as it is going to prevent a lot of misbehavior in the class. But the question arises that how to create it. So the first step is to you need to create a culture of trust and responsibility by you give students the ownership of learning process. Simple. And it is voice and choice, which most of us now we are doing it. So let the child choose his learning options. Let them take control of the learning process. Example, if I want to say what to do, what will be the outcome, etc. So that means the child himself is taking control of his learning. Nothing is being forcefully, given to the child. Help students learn to self-assess their work through meaningful motivation and self-reflection. It derives self-evaluation along with self-verification and finally self-enhancement. All right. And if you know that, yes, right at the end of the session, all of us fill feedback forms. What is this? This is actually a feedback which a person is getting from the audience so that there is a self-assessment, a self-evaluation. Similarly, this will help the children to self-assess their work. All right. And once they will be able to self-assess, they know that where they have done the mistake and how can they improve upon. Connect the classroom to the home, to home. Let parents be the partner. They are the most important person in today's school scenario. So let the parents be the partner in the learning process. Let the child handle all technical issues. You provide assistance in handling technical issues in the remote learning. Encourage the child to investigate, then to ask teacher. Means what? Allow him to explore and discover rather than solely the child is depending on the teacher. If he or she does something which is not up to the mark and which is not going into the right track, tell the child that you need to just revisit, go and explore, and then come back. And after coming back, yes, it becomes a responsibility of the educator to give time to the child. So hence the students' accountability can be achieved in various ways. The overall objective is what? We are making the students accountable and also making them responsible. If the children are accountable and responsible, again, that classroom management is going to automatically become very, very effective. You don't have to work very much on it. Now, uh, once you have already built the trust and the responsibility is established, it is easier to manage the behavior. Behavior is actually the amalgamation of one's emotions and thoughts. Right. So, behavior management system is based on three principles: prevention. We have already discussed on effective classroom management, which is by far the most effective way of controlling the misbehavior. And this, how can we achieve this? We can achieve by reinforcing positive behavior, establishing clear rules and routines, modeling the behavior using positive language, actively building trust and rapport. Very important. A trust and rapport has to be very, very important factor in the classroom management system. When the prevention does not work, then what next? We need to take a necessary step, and that is intervention. Why? Because if we have to, that we do not take this is going to become a bigger problem for us. So in order to plug in the problem then and there, we need to have this process of intervention. The educator needs to be calm and patient in dealing with intervening. I mean, when we are dealing with the children, at times, because of the workload, because of this, we generally see that the teacher loses his or her calmness. But the most important thing is that if you are patient enough, then this intervention can really bring wonders. How can you do it? Separate the behavior from the pupil. You don't have to see that what the child and what the problem is. We have to only see the problem. Don't see the child. We have to see the problem. Use the language of choice instead of punishment. Always follow up on issues that count. Do not leave issues unattended. Keep the focus on the primary cause of the behavior. Try to go to the root of the
Uh,
problem. We don't have to
Sorry
be.
to interrupt, ma'am, but just a quick and I'll just take a second. I've just been seeing a lot of messages or a lot of comments about slides not being clearly visible, and in fact, we've had comments from lots of other teachers that they are visible. So we've done the check. The slides are clearly visible. It is very likely to be an issue with your connectivity. As I said, please try doing one of these two things. Please either go full screen or go to the settings of your video and increase it to higher video quality, either like a 720p. So that's something that you could do. But if the issue persists, that's fine. Let's just try and listen to ma'am for now, and then we can see if we are able to share the PPT later. You could go through the PPT later at your own pace. But for now, let's try and listen to ma'am, and let's do that. Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Thank you,
okay. Thank you.
Dipandita ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Karthik. No problems. Uh, so I was just talking about intervention. So we keep the focus on the primary cause of the behavior and try to go to the root of the problem. Root of the problem is that we need to find out and plug in the problem. Let us not be very superficial. That yes, this happens to the child, and we are just seeing the superficial problem of the child. Please go on to the ground, to the root level of the problem, and find out the problem and try to plug in then and there. In my opinion, honestly speaking, I would prefer the third one, that is restoration. This is a very positive step forward, and it helps the student learn to resolve disagreements, take ownership of their behavior, and engage in acts of empathy and forgiveness. How can it be again, done? Use sanctions really and restoratively. You work to repair and restore relation. I think this point needs to be a little more highlighted. Why I'm saying is that once you restore your relationship, if once the child has got a lot of faith on you, you will be very easily able to repair the problem that the child is facing. So this is restoration is the most important thing in the behavior management system. All right, so it is more restorative than punishment oriented, I must say. So these principles, they help the educators to manage the behavior of the students in the class, and the educator must base his or her dealings with the students on these principles. So what is the important one? Important is the prevention and the restoration. The intervention comes, into afterwards. Once you are not able to do anything, then only you should approach to the higher authorities. My suggestion and my this will be that we should not involve the higher authorities. They should only be involved when it's a dire situation, when there is no solution left. Then only we should see that we take these things to the higher authorities. Appreciation is one of the most important way to encourage a good classroom behavior. Honestly speaking, today I am giving you a presentation in front of you. I am sure that yes, I at this age, we all educators at this level need appreciation. So children are always children, right? When children are appreciated, they feel wanted, they feel cared for. Care, it is necessary that knowledge acknowledge their smallest act and give them the recognition, even if they have done a very small thing, very small thing, which you feel may not be magnified, but the child feels yes, I did this small task and my teacher has noticed. So here are the few ways in which you can appreciate a child. I am sure most of the things everybody must be doing it. Sunshine or a grace note to the parent or student, recognition in the newsletter, I tell you, a smile really do wonders in appreciation. I'm just sharing my personal experience with you as a coordinator. That when I take rounds in my wing, I talk to the children and I see children coming towards me. When I really give them a smile, I think they think out of the world, as if ma'am has given something very, very, special to them. So smile costs nothing, but it is giving so much to the student. Display the beautiful work of the students. If the child has done, you feel that yes, this has something which can be displayed and it has got something interested displayed. Round of applause, encouraging word, positive notes to the parents on behalf of the student. Again, positive notes, why I say to the parents, because children have to become a little, kind of a, yes, I have got a positive. They feel themselves elevated. उनको लगता है कि हमें बहुत अच्छा मिला है, पेरेंट्स ने हमको हमको स्कूल से एक नोट मिला है मेरे पेरेंट्स के लिए, मेरे अच्छे रिकग्निशन, उसके लिए रिकग्निशन के लिए, मेरे अच्छे वर्क के लिए. अवार्ड्स गिवन एट सेरेमनी, positive personal award, verbal praise, daily words of encouragement. I know these things may be sounding that yes, they are very, very common, but actually, I'm telling you, these things they leave a lot of impact on the child. And trust me, I, from this platform, want to share that when I was in my school days, I still remember my teachers who have appreciated me for even my small work. So let us all be recognized and be remembered by our students by little appreciation and doesn't cost anything to us. So even Rob Levin has laid a lot of emphasis on appreciation and recognition. It is the simplest way to build a connect with the student and an effective means to motivate a good behavior. We have seen changes in the children where the child was has a lot of behavioral problems, but yes, gradually when you talk to him, when you start building a trust, when there is trust between an educator and a teacher, you see a lot of change in the child, and the end result is always a positive one. Apart from the progress report, children can be appreciated. We are giving progress report. Yes, you did A plus, A, B, and this is all fine. But children are can be appreciated with shout out. That immediate appreciations are also very important. And applause in the class for the positive behavior and academic achievement. Because shout outs are a way to acknowledge a student positive behavior and academic achievement in the classroom. No child is seeing anybody's report, progress report. But yes, when you are acknowledging through shout outs, they feel, yes, I am being valued. I've done something special. When kids are cheering each other, it also, influences the classroom culture. It becomes very positive. It sends a positive vibes to the children, right? And it, the other children also, they start they get motivated and inspire, and the inspiration goes to other, that yes, I will also do the same, so that I am also being applauded for this. Appreciation is good, but yes, to what extent and how? So how you need to appreciate is very important. So appreciation in a right way is equally important. You have appreciated, that's fine, but in what manner have you appreciated the child? Make the student feel appreciated and admired for what he has done, his act. I just wanted to emphasize on the word act. That means what the child has actually done, for which he is being appreciated. So never say that I am proud of you. When I say that I am proud of you, I am not recognizing the act of the child. Actually, I am recognizing the child. This child starts feeling and he works hard because he has to make me happy or proud. He's not working on his profession, on his personal development. So what we need to give is, you appreciate it in a right manner, and it is very important, and it should be, honestly speaking, it should be done judiciously. Why? Because if you are appreciating for every small thing, yes, it will be good, but ensure that how are you appreciating, it makes a lot of difference. It is important that every child feels included and involved. Honestly speaking, yes, when we as teachers sit in a group, or when we are there in some meeting, if I use a word just I, it is not good. But when I use a word yes we instead of you, it makes a lot of difference. So apart from recognition and shout outs, make every child feel he she is important. It's a nice way to start or end the day. A simple way to let students know you are with them and you are ready to listen. You want to be listened. You want to listen the child. The child is being valued. The child is being cared. There's somebody who is listening, because at in this present scenario, if you want to, if you see, there are certain things, there are nuclear families where the children are unable to share their feelings with their parents because they might not be having that time. So a teacher role becomes very very important in this case. So you need to use that, yes we can together do this if the child is feeling left out somewhere. So a small shift from you to we will make a great difference. And if you try this, I'm sure that it is going to be there. Once the students know they are all important and they are being heard, they will never hesitate to interact or participate, because you have removed that fear factor. You have really removed that fear factor now. There is no fear factor between an educator and a teacher and a learner, and the child is easily approaching to you. So it is not always necessary to get a very right responses from the students, but yes we can accept all their responses. Why? We can give them time that you go revisit and relearn. So instead of asking children what is the answer, I can always say what's your response. So the child will feel that whatever I am thinking, whatever answer I am going, whatever concept I am thinking, whatever I am thinking experimentally, yes there is something which is being valued. My teacher wants to know that what is what. So you are giving rise basically to the critical thinking and giving an open space to the child to think. So I personally feel that this will make the child give away all fears and inhibition, and he she may feel that his responses are welcome. So these are the very very small ways to engage children, but they what happens is they make a maximum participation in the class, and that is again a challenge for all the educators, honestly speaking, that to make the children participate in the class. And we can try this small strategy, that keep this, ensure that you are listening to every child. I know that there is a time crunch for the teachers because of the syllabus. Yes, there is. But can we do, if we start taking small steps, I am sure that we will lead to a bigger step very soon. Let the power of yes rule in your class. Tell the student, children, there are no wrong answers. It's straight cut. The child gives the answer, and you say, no, it is not right answer. You have already, nipped the child then and there. Right. Now what my motive is? My motive is not to nip the child there. Rather, the child needs to grow. He has to think. So the word yes has the power to build a very strong bond between the teacher student, because the student feels that my teacher will accept my incorrect answers also. So the power of yes is a lot of power, and it makes the children feel that the teacher is flexible, the teacher is adaptive, and most importantly you are positive about things and people. But in certain cases where you feel that the child is totally going out of track, and you want to bring that the child should go on to a track where he has to actually go, right? So certain cases give the student, in certain cases give the student chance to rethink and revisit to come to the right answer. In this way, we are making the children know there is always a scope for more, and the power of yet is always there. I have done it correctly, yet there is a scope. So, yet is the understand. Now, very students to think upon what if, right? And also, today, what at the end of the webinar, I will also leave each one of you and of course myself to think on to sorry to think on what if we created a safe and caring environment in our school. What if everyone respected individual differences and diversities of our cultures? What if our teachers design learning experiences to reach students who learn in different ways? What if students became responsible for themselves and each other? What if how we knew how to educate all our students for success in the 21st century? What if our families became more actively involved in the education of their child? What if we could awaken a love of learning in everyone? Now, I started with what if and I ended with what if. If we could make these what ifs a reality, trust me, and bring them inside our classroom, the world is going to become brighter. And yes, we will see a new change in the education, and we will see that our children are coming with a very different personality. With these lines, I hope that we could make these some of the ifs a reality in our classroom, and yes, see the change in our classroom. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Karthik. That's all from my side. Yes, now I'm ready.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for a fantastic session. And as you said, you were hoping that all of us have a set of takeaways after the session gets over, and I could already see it from the comments that people already do have a set of takeaways. So, thank you so much. And yeah, before we get into the questions, we've posted the link to the feedback form in the live chat section. So please make sure that you fill the feedback form in. uh, Preeti Bhamre ma'am is saying, true, ma'am, the session is lovely. Lot of takeaways to be adopted from the session. Thank you, wonderful. Lots of thank you messages. Uh, we'll so Let's just see if we have any questions, and we'll try and answer them. So there's a question from Mr. Bilal Ganai, and Bilal sir, I think he's joining us from Kashmir. And Bilal sir is asking, if a student misbehaves continuously in a classroom, what what should we do as a teacher? Like, if there is continuous misbehavior on the part of the student, that's his question.
Bilal sir, thank you for the question. I know that yes, your question is very genuine. My presentation was totally based on how, if you want to stop the misbehavior in the classroom, you need to just engage the children. Try to engage the children. Yes, initially you find that there is a little trouble in doing that, but gradually when you will see that you are incorporating these strategies in your classroom, gradually you will see that there is a lot of misbehavior being checked itself in the class. So it is if such children are there in your classroom, my one suggestion you can take: make them volunteers. Make them volunteers. In these online classes, what I have been doing, there were children who were really a little mischievous. What did I said? See, my presentation is not working. Can I have so and so child share my presentation? So once you start engaging the children, what will happen? They will start feeling valued. Generally, it has been observed, when the children are left unattended, they want to attract the entire class through such kind of act, where the teacher and the student, they are attracted towards the particular child by doing some kind of mischievous activities. So Bilal sir, just give it a try. What I will feel is that make him a volunteer. You talk to him something you know is of his interest. If his interest is in cricket, talk to him about some cricket. Make a repo. Just build a repo. The ones who are very naughty, you know, they are the ones who are the most respectful later in life. When they will meet you on the road, they will touch your feet or they will greet you. So, you know, it's very easy to handle the hard ones because they are easy to handle. So that's my the suggestion to Mr. Bilal.
Sure, sure. And the next question is from Mr. Subranil Ghoshal, and this is a question that we get almost in every session. Will be useful to get your perspective on it as well, ma'am. And Subranil sir is asking those students who are not very attentive in the online classroom, what should he be doing as a teacher to, get that attention, get them to concentrate in the class? What should he be doing? Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you for the question, sir. I think a very valid question, and it is, I think, most of the educators and even myself, to be very honest, face such challenges in the online classes. And especially when we're talking about talking about senior students, you know, they have a habit of keeping themselves muted. In fact, if you'll keep on asking their names, they won't speak, they won't switch on the camera. So what you can do is here is simply assign the task to the child. You start making one or two classes of yours as a student led learning classes. You know, give them some responsibility. Yes, we have done this chapter. And then what you can do is simply ask them that yes, you will be talking on this point, you will be talking on this topic, you will be talking on this topic. Once you start doing, you know, they become again student accountability. If you increase in the students, they will automatically start doing. Yes, it's a challenge. I won't say that it is that easy the way it is being said by every expert in the on the virtual platform. It is difficult, but once we start, maybe out of 40 lot, maybe 10 to 15, you will find a change that they start, you know, responding to what you say in the class. So try this. Start making one or two classes of yours as a student led. Give them some kind of certification, you know, because they die for this one. Because once they go out of the school portal to the college level, they have to produce this certificate and they value these certificates afterwards a lot. So children have to be, you know, we have to develop the children in a holistic manner. So ensure that the children are doing it. Give them some kind of a certificate, some appreciation note. I am sure that maybe not all, but yes, you will be able to cater to most of the children in your class.
sure, ma'am. The next question is from Ms. Aarti Daryani, and Aarti ma'am is asking, could you please elaborate a little more on questioning strategies for effective and thoughtful teaching?
uh, Once see when I say that you have to, the questions that should go from an educator should be in such a manner, Aarti ma'am, that you have to not throw a direct question. First of all, your question need to be in such a manner which is leading to some problem solving questions which the child is actually seeing in his day to day life. For example, if I say that I have to talk something about, let us say I am a physics educator, so I'll be dealing with that. So suppose if you have to talk about friction, you know, you just talk about that. Yes, children, have you seen the trucks rolling? Have you seen the tires rolling? How are you walking? So you need to create a kind of a curiosity in the children. So once you create a curiosity, they will automatically start, you know, thinking that why it is happening. We are letting the children think on those grounds. We will ask the children, you are making the child that yes, why this is happening. So questions play a very, very important role in your classroom management strategies. Why am I saying, if you throw a direct question, there will be many of them who will open the books, or they may have a rote learning, they will answer quickly, and then you will not be able to have a proper that kind of a critically thinking part. You'll not get a proper critical thinking questions and the answers from the children. What I wanted to say, frame a question in such a manner which should not be direct, so that is going to will give some time to the child to think and then come back to the answer. So you are asking the child to think over. So I think that hopefully I am able to express my views on your question, Aarti.
Sure, sure, ma'am. And Miss Vidhi has a very interesting question, and she's asking, you said that all answers are accepted, and what if the answer is absolutely wrong? How do we correct them?
Correct. I have, yes, Vicky ma'am, I've already said absolutely right. We tend to make mistakes. Then why can't children tend to make mistakes? The day we learn this, honestly speaking, when the teacher or the educator is actually thinking that yes, I also commit mistake, and the mistakes, remember, the mistakes are made only by those who do work. Who work, they only commit mistake. So if the child is going completely out of track and it is a complete incorrect answer, you can simply tell the child, go and rethink, and just refer to the study material, go on to the internet, go on to the Google, go on to get into the library, find out some generals based on that, and then come back again. He might not come back with the correct answer. Yes, see, whatever I'm talking might be seen, it seems very impractical, but what this is the time when we have to now switch from a conventional teaching to a different teaching. So we need to put our teacher fraternity, our we teachers, we educators have to now work very hard, because we have to have a shift from here to there. So if the child is not doing, ask him to rethink, refer study material. Child, go to the library, check the journals, check the books. Even then, if you do not get, you can always come to me. I will help you out. So once you say that I am with you, the child will have a he will be doubly enthusiastic that yes, my ma'am is with me, and yes, I need to find it out. Yes.
Sure, ma'am. We'll probably take a couple of more questions, and this is another question which gets asked a lot. Is these strategies are fantastic, but we have 40 minutes and 60 students and a large amount of syllabus. How do we make it happen? So that's the
Yes.
question, and this one is from Mr. Viral Bhai Desai.
Yes, Mr. Desai, I totally, Desai sir, agree to what you said. And yes, being a teacher, I also understand that classroom scenario is altogether a different. When you're teaching to 40, 50, 60 lot, and there is, a syllabus on your head that yes, the management is going to ask that why the syllabus is not completed. But again, you have to take a small step. What I want to say, let the change be gradual. We don't want that the change has to be overnight. Let's see that we take a small step. Maybe that I have taken one class, just one class out of 6 classes that I'm teaching, one class wherein I am talking to the children, making them think critically, talking to them, which is making them think out of the box. They are coming with variety of questions. I am sure that won't that much affect the syllabus completion, but yes, a small step has really created a lot of difference in the child. The second thing is that yes, you can also do one thing is create group tasks. Yes, give them tasks in the group. You teach a topic, tell them that yes, this group is going to work on this task. This group is going to work on another task, and let the children come and present. So I think a peer learning will also take place there. Child will also feel, very elevated, that I have been given the chance to teach my friends, my peer mates. So this is going to help a little. But I agree again to your this, that the syllabus is too large, the duration is too less. Yes, hopefully the NEP is going to bring a lot of change in the curriculum, has already brought a change in the curriculum. And yes, whatever we are dreaming of the education system in few years, we will reach to that. Bring a humor to the class. Once you bring a humor to the class, this will again make your class lively, and again the children will have that, yes, I have to participate. So that participation level has to be increased if you want your classroom effective. If you want your classroom has to be effective, create humors, talk something which is not related to the topic, something which arouse interest and is of their interest. So I think, Mr. Desai, hopefully I'm able to answer your questions. You may try a few of them which we have discussed here on the webinar.
Sure. And the next question is from Ms. Jayanti Rajagopalan, who's joining us from Qatar. And her question is, how do we control or advise the students who are affected with emotional feelings in a classroom? That's her question.
A very, very good question. I am so happy that somebody has taken a question which is not related to the topic, to the chapter, but it is emotional well being. Yes, yes, it is very, very important. My emotional well being is very, very important. We this is the time we need to create in the student empathy. Tell the children, and that is why I'm just sharing my school's experience with you all, that in our school what we are doing is that this was the time when the children have undergone a lot of traumatic situations, lot of traumatic incidents had happened in their families. So we started with certain sessions called as MEB sessions, which are my emotional well-being sessions, wherein we are showing them certain kind of small videos. We are asking children to share their experiences. We are asking them to write certain notes for another child. We are asking to discuss some positive thing about the child, and making empathetic towards each other. So this cannot be created. This is to be developed by the child. The child has to develop. So what you have spoken is absolutely correct. Children have got shattered. You will see few children sitting in the class very quiet. Now how do we deal? Ask that child, not in the class. You can ask, if a child is just going in the corridor, just call, so how was your day, what did you do yesterday, what have you brought in the tiffin today? Once you start connecting, that kind of, because maybe that he's not able to share all these things at home, and he has got into a shell. What we educators should have, we need to break the shell of the child. And that is the task, and that is the quality of a good educator, that yes, you are bringing the child out of the shell and making him, a very, very, rather you are taking out him from that emotional situation to a very normal situation, where the child knows, yes, I am now becoming I'm now becoming kind of, socially I am balanced. I don't overreact. I don't underreact. So this is how we can do it. So, ma'am, it's a very good question. Try out few of the videos, make it a part of your curriculum in your school, and show some kind of a video. I think that you can integrate your some lessons in your senior section with such kind of with some these social emotional issues. There are certain chapters in English in class 11th and 12th and 10th and 9th where you can connect those chapter with this MEB sessions. So this is going to cover your both the points. You don't have to take them, you don't have to give them extra periods also, and will be a lot of learning. Apart from learning, there will be certain, kind of emotional and social behaviors being developed in the child.
Uh, Thank you, ma'am. And I think we have one like a minute for the last question, and this is from Rian Malkani. And Rian says, "I totally agree to the power of yes policy, but how about making the child bold enough to accept a no for an answer, and more importantly, saying no for unacceptable things?" That's the question from Rian.
uh, okay, fine, yes, there is always a no answer. Yes, I know. Now you can put yourself in the situation of the child. You go to somebody and you ask that, yes, do can you do this much for me, and you get a clear cut answer that yes, I can do this much for you. So how will you feel? Rather, if this is being asked to you that uh, I may have to see whether I will be able to help you or not. So that is giving a very positive impact on you. The child has also understood that yes, maybe it is not possible, but yeah, the other person is not letting it go like that. He or she is giving it a try. So you don't have to straight cut say no. It is not no is, see, understand, no, yes, I understand, no is a, yeah, is a complete sentence. But for our children, when we are dealing this age, especially the adolescents, then we need to make them understand gradually that yes say no kaise jana hai, not outrightly that you are right and you are wrong. This right and wrong process will always have a kind of a nibbing the child right in the early stages only. So say yes, you need to just rethink on your solution. You need to revisit your this. It is, you have to train a child that when a teacher is saying that rethink and revisit and go to the library, check it, or go on the net and check it, the child has understood that I am finding my answer or my concept is somewhere lagging and it is not appropriate, it is not correct. So don't outrightly, I would suggest, don't outrightly say no. Yes, the world is very rough and harsh. Gradually they will learn. But let them learn. Let us, we all educator, make our children learn gradually, and let them learn gradually the word no. Let's not teach them no. Take them from yes and gradually learn no. As they will grow, they have to learn. Thank you so much.
Thank you once again, Mukti ma'am. Thank you once again for a fantastic session, and I'm sure we'll be, coming back to you with requests for another session very soon. So thank you once again,
I would
and
like to thank all the audience, Karthik, for listening to me patiently, because generally, webinars, I understand at times become boring. I hope I've tried to make it as interactive and as informal as I could. But thank you so much, all the audience. And yes, I'm always there. In case of any query, you can always mail me on my mail ID, and which is written on this screen. Thank you so much.
sure. Thank you, ma'am. And we've shared the link to the feedback form in the live chat section. For those of you who've not filled in yet, please go ahead and fill it. And you have time till 9 p.m. today, so please do that. And I'll see all of you on Saturday. We have a special session on Saturday, and well, of course, it's for parents, but US teachers can definitely join, and you can invite your school leaders, other parents in your network. It's on the concept of financial literacy and how parents could inculcate financial literacy from in their children from a young age. So it's a super interesting topic, and we will definitely have an interesting session. The registrations, as always, are open on my center, m.center.org from your mobile browser. So go ahead, register yourself. and share the link with friends and parents and other teachers in your network. And we'll see all of you on Saturday. Thank you once again, and I hope all of you have a great week ahead. Stay safe, stay strong, follow the necessary precautions. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Karthik. Thank you so much.